Doctor Strange saw one future, but locked away 1,000 others. Spider-Man wasn't meant to survive any of them. So Strange rewrote the truth and sealed his own fate. But the spell cracked, and Peter saw something he was never meant to. An alternate version of himself, begging Strange not to lie. Now, Spider-Man is digging through memories that were erased. And what he finds might destroy the man he trusted most. Because Doctor Strange didn't protect him. He betrayed him. The sky over Manhattan blinked. Just once. Like someone had tapped pause on the entire world for half a second. Birds stuttered mid-flight. Street traffic halted without braking. Pedestrians froze with coffee mid-air and sentences mid-breath. And Peter Parker felt it. Not as Spider-Man. Not through spider-sense. Something deeper, stranger, older than instinct. It was as if his memories fluttered, like a book someone tried to slam shut too late. He was swinging between rooftops when the glitch hit. 1 second mid-air, wind in his suit, earbuds playing old punk. Next second, he was upside down, falling through air that felt thicker, like molasses. He landed hard, rolled, recovered, but the city felt wrong. The street signs had changed language. Only for a moment. He blinked, and they were English again. A man crossing the street morphed. White hair, cane, terrified. Then back to normal. A scream echoed through an alley, but no one else heard it. Then, from behind, came a voice laced in magic and guilt. You weren't supposed to feel that. Peter spun around. Doctor Strange stood there, cloak restless in the wind, eyes locked not on Peter, but the air itself. He was already mid-incantation, fingers weaving symbols that shimmered like glass under pressure. What was that? Peter demanded. Strange didn't answer at first, just kept muttering. The symbols crackled. Time buckled again, harder this time. A car phased halfway through a fire hydrant before reversing into normalcy like nothing happened. Peter stepped closer. Doc, what did you do? Strange's shoulders tensed. He stopped the spell. His hands dropped. His voice was soft but sharp. You need to forget what you saw. Right now. Peter laughed. What I saw the city hiccup like someone kicked reality in the teeth. You think I can forget that? Strange didn't blink. You have to. The air between them pulsed, like the city itself was warning them. Peter reached into his suit and pulled out the shard. He hadn't even realized he'd picked it up. Some broken piece of glass lying in the alley when the glitch hit. But it wasn't reflecting him. It was reflecting someone else. Another Peter. Mask torn. Face bloodied. Screaming at someone behind the glass. Who is this? Peter whispered. Strange's face darkened. Give that to me. No, Peter gripped it tighter. That's not a request. Neither was what came next. A tremor surged beneath them, like a second reality bleeding underneath this one. Peter felt the rooftops call to him, the wind trying to whisper warnings, but the shard burned in his hand. He ran. Strange didn't chase. He vanished, cloak curling into nothing. Peter leapt wall to wall, swinging with panic he hadn't felt since Uncle Ben died. Not fear of dying, but fear of not knowing. That shard wasn't a mirror. It was a memory, and it wasn't his. He landed on a rooftop and yanked off his mask, gasping. The shard shimmered again, and this time it spoke. Not in words, in scenes. He was standing in front of the sanctum, alone, bleeding, screaming Strange's name. No more lies, his reflection yelled. You don't get to decide who I become. Then the shard cracked. Peter dropped it. Wong found him 3 hours later in the shadow of a water tower, surrounded by silence. You should have given him the shard, Wong said quietly. Peter looked up. What was that? Not what? Who? Peter stood. That was me. Wong shook his head. No, that was one of you. One version, one timeline, one memory that survived a purge it never should have. You're telling me Strange erased my timelines? Dozens, Wong said, solemn. Maybe hundreds. Why? Wong didn't speak, just stared out over the city like it hurt to breathe. Peter stepped forward, voice trembling. I trusted him. And he trusted you, Wong replied. That's why he did it. You weren't ready for the truth. Peter clenched his fists. Try me. Wong vanished. The shard's pieces glowed faintly at Peter's feet. He gathered them in silence, tucked them into a web satchel, and headed to the only place left untouched by strange magic. Queen's, Aunt May's grave. But even there, reality bent. The headstone name flickered. Once, May Parker. Then, just for a second, Mary Parker. His mother. He blinked and it was gone. The multiverse wasn't breaking. It was leaking. He called MJ. Her number rang once, then turned to static. He opened the Daily Bugle site. Every headline was blank. Just empty boxes where text should be. He looked in a window. His reflection didn't match his expression. And then it whispered, "Don't trust him." Peter staggered back. The reflection hadn't moved its lips. But he'd heard it, his voice, but older, broken. Behind him, a portal opened. Dr. Strange emerged, eyes bloodshot, hands already glowing with a containment spell. Peter raised a hand. "Stop. You're unraveling, Peter." "No. You're just afraid I'll remember." "I warned you once," Strange said, stepping closer. "This is your last chance. Give me the shards. I can fix this." Peter held out the pouch, then yanked it back. "No." Strange stepped into a circle of runes that lit beneath his feet. "Then I'm sorry." But Peter was already gone. He didn't teleport. He tore a hole. In space. In reality. In trust. He leapt into the breach, not knowing where it led, only knowing that wherever the truth was buried, he'd find it himself. The city glitched again behind him. A billboard of Iron Man blinked into one of Captain America holding Spider-Man's mask. Somewhere far above, the stars twisted, and the mirror shard, still glowing in his pouch, began whispering again, "You're not who you think you are." The air in the tear was thick like wet glass. Peter wasn't falling or flying. He was sliding between fragments of what should have been time. He saw flashes. A world where he never wore the suit. A world where Gwen was still alive. A world where Aunt May was younger than him. He slammed out of the rift and crashed into asphalt. It wasn't Manhattan anymore. It looked like Kamartaj, but shattered. The colors were inverted. Gravity was twisted. Buildings curled in on themselves like paper left in fire too long. The sky was green, not with clouds, but with memory. And standing right there, waiting, as if he knew this moment had already happened, was Wong. "You weren't supposed to get this far," he said. Peter wiped blood from his forehead. "Yeah. Well, you guys really need to stop saying that." Wong didn't move. "Do you even know where you are?" Peter glanced around. Kamartaj. But wrong. This is a collapsed branch. A failed timeline. One where you remembered everything too early. Peter's stomach twisted. "What happened to me here?" Wong didn't answer. He held out a glowing memory core, like a living orb of light threaded with blood-red lines. "See for yourself." Peter stepped forward, hesitated, then touched it. Pain. Searing, layered alive. He saw himself, older, gaunt, glowing with some dark power. Not web-slinging, but floating. Entire cities beneath him obeying his will. Spider-like patterns burned into his skin. Not a costume anymore. A voice echoed. He tried to warn Strange. He let go, gasping. "That's me? What did I become?" Wong stepped back. Something Strange feared more than Thanos. Peter stared at his hands. "He erased me to stop that version? He erased hundreds of you. Versions that figured out the truth about your powers. Where they came from. Why the bite was never random." Peter's jaw clenched. "Tell me." "I can't," Wong said. "But he can." From behind the spiral of a melting wall emerged a man Peter never expected to see again. Loki, elegant, smirking, but beneath it, exhaustion. Well, Loki drawled. "Spider-Boy playing detective. Didn't think you'd get this far." Peter raised his fists. "If you're here, it means I messed up bad." Loki circled him. "Oh, you haven't even started yet. But you are the variable. The one Strange couldn't delete properly. Slippery little spider. Why'd he erase me?" Loki glanced at Wong. "He's earned it." Wong vanished. Loki leaned in. "You want the real answer?" It wasn't just about your powers. It was about what you were going to remember. Remember what? That you were never supposed to be Spider-Man. Peter flinched. I am Spider-Man. No, Loki said calmly. You were built to contain Spider-Man. A vessel, a cage. The powers were never yours. They were cosmic, left behind by something ancient. Something even the Sorcerer Supreme feared. Peter shook his head. No, I was bitten. It was an accident. It was just accident. Loki laughed coldly. What part of a genetically engineered spider carrying celestial code sounds like an accident to you? Peter stumbled back. The shard you carry? Loki continued. It's not memory. It's a key. It survived a purge that erased entire timelines. Peter opened the pouch slowly. The shard was glowing again, brighter than before. And now it showed something new. A dark temple. Not Earth. Not even this dimension. In the center, hundreds of spider creatures kneeling, worshipping him. The version of Peter with glowing eyes, covered in cosmic webbing, crowned. Loki whispered behind him, that's the you Strange feared most. The spider god version. Peter's mouth went dry. He killed that version? He couldn't. So he sealed it in memory. But memory always finds a way back. Loki turned, walked toward a floating mirror portal. You can still go back. Let Strange wipe your mind again. Be the Peter you think you are. Peter didn't follow. Or Loki stopped. You keep going. Keep unlocking what's hidden. You find the source. You find out why you never needed the suit. Why the webs came from you, not tech. Why the bite activated something waiting inside. Peter clenched the shard. Why help me? Because, Loki said, stepping into the portal, Strange didn't just erase your future. He locked away mine. He vanished. Peter stared at the shard. It pulsed in sync with his heartbeat. He turned back toward the twisted camartage and walked straight into Strange, blood dripping from his hand. Eyes not angry, terrified. You opened it, Strange whispered. You have no idea what you've done. Peter stood firm. You lied to me. I saved you. No, you saved them for me. Strange raised his hands. The cloak lifted. Symbols appeared midair. I'm sorry, Peter. I have to seal you. Peter's mask slid on. I'd like to see you try. The magic hit him, but it didn't burn. It absorbed, reacted. His body glowed. The symbols shattered. Peter staggered, looked at his hands. Webs no longer just tech or biology. They were threads of light, threads of time, of memory. I'm not a vessel, he said. I'm what comes after. Strange backed away, horror on his face. No, you were never protecting me, Peter growled. You were caging me. And behind them, reality began to bend again. Not from magic, from Peter. The Sanctum Sanctorum was under lockdown. Seals shimmered across every window. The front door, once a silent sentinel of mystic power, pulsed like it was alive, repelling even the wind. But Peter didn't knock. He walked straight through it. The magic bent around him, not like a guest passing through, but like a virus slipping past the body's defense. Inside, the house screamed, not aloud. Through the walls, through the floor, every artifact buzzed with unease, as if sensing what had entered was not the same Spider-Man they once knew. Peter's boots echoed on the marble. The eye of Agamotto hung sealed in its cradle. Useless now, powerless, without Strange to will it open. But Peter didn't need it. He had the shard. It burned in his chest now, not physically, mentally, emotionally, like a locked scream just beneath his skin. And it was leading him, somewhere deeper than the Sanctum's map allowed. There was a door behind a door, a vault, hidden even from the sorcerer's texts, not to protect what was inside, but to keep the world safe from what it revealed. Peter pressed his hand against it. Nothing happened, so he stopped thinking like a guest. He clenched his fist and punched through reality. The door cracked, not physically, but metaphysically. Threads of time and space curled back. Reality recoiled. And when it opened, what lay beyond wasn't a room. It was a memory, but not his. Strange's. hundreds of floating mirror shards suspended in nothingness, each a moment plucked from a timeline long since deleted. Peter stepped into one. It showed him older, stronger, surrounded by heroes, leading them. But they weren't cheering. They were afraid. He moved to another. He saw himself fighting Thor. Thor running. Another. He was talking to the Celestials. Not pleading, commanding. Another. He was alone, seated on a throne built of silk and bone, wearing a crown shaped like a spider's legs. The multiverse bending to his will. He backed away, breath ragged. These weren't futures. These were fears. He turned and found a file glowing in crimson. Label, Parker, 616 status. Universal red threat, sealed by order of Strange. He opened it. Words exploded into his mind. A prophecy, a warning, a spell. The host will forget. The powers will remain. But the thread must not be followed, lest the spider become the weaver. He whispered it aloud. The Weaver. It wasn't a title. It was a role. He was never chosen to be a hero. He was engineered to hold something dormant, contained in flesh, hidden in the form of a teenage boy. Peter wasn't Spider-Man. Spider-Man was inside Peter, buried, caged, waiting. And Dr. Strange was the warden. The file ended with a clip. One final memory. Peter watched as a younger Strange stood over a broken Peter in a timeline long erased. Peter was dying, bleeding from his eyes, chest cracked, but glowing with an ancient light. "You should have let me become it," that Peter said. Strange shook his head. "You would have ended everything." "That was the point," Peter whispered. "To start again, to fix it." And Strange ended him with a spell that shattered time and erased that version forever. Peter closed the file. Silence, until a voice behind him said, "You shouldn't have come here." He turned. It wasn't Strange. It was himself. Another version, fully realized. No mask, no tech, just a body glowing with quiet, terrifying control. This was the one he saw in the shard. Spider God Peter, the Weaver. "You survived?" Peter asked. The other version tilted his head. "No, I waited. Because one day you'd come looking. And when you did, you'd awaken everything he buried." Peter stepped closer. "What am I?" "You're the thread," the Weaver said. "And once you pull it, everything unravels." "I don't want to destroy the world." "Neither did I," he replied. "But we're not here to destroy. We're here to restart." Peter's fists clenched. Restart what? The balance, the lies, the illusion that power should belong to a few. Strange, stark, the old gods, they all feared what the spider was. "I'm not a god," Peter said. "Neither was the caterpillar," the Weaver whispered, before it remembered it had wings. And then the chamber shook. Reality outside was being rewritten. Strange had found him. The vault began to collapse. The Weaver grabbed Peter's arm. "He's going to try to erase you again." "He can't. Not anymore. But he'll try." "What do I do?" "You choose. Stay and fight him now. Or go deeper. Learn the full truth. But if you go further, you can't come back the same." The walls were cracking. Strange magic flooded in like water from a broken dam. Peter looked at the mirror in front of him. It showed Aunt May, alive, smiling, and behind her, him, but different, at peace. A version that never asked questions. Then he looked at the Weaver. "I need to know," Peter said. The Weaver smiled, then pushed him into the mirror. Peter crashed into another timeline. This one dark, empty, cold, and standing there, waiting in the snow, was an old man in a torn cloak missing an eye. It wasn't Strange. It was Odin, and he looked terrified. Odin's presence alone bent the air. Snow spiraled around him, but none landed on his cloak. His one eye studied Peter like he was staring at a myth, still deciding whether to be real. Peter stepped forward, confused and cold. "Why are you here?" Odin didn't answer immediately. He turned and began walking through the frost-covered ruins of what used to be Asgard. Not golden, not glorious, just broken. Peter followed. "I don't have time for cryptic gods." "You already ran out of time, boy," Odin said. You just haven't noticed. Peter grabbed his shoulder. Tell me what the Weaver is. Tell me what I am. Odin turned slowly, and his words shook the earth. You are the end of webs, the thread breaker, the living fail-safe of the gods. Peter's chest tightened. Odin continued. The spider power you cling to, it's not from Earth, not science, not magic. It's what remains of an ancient force the gods themselves couldn't destroy. Then why bury it in me? Because you were young, human, fragile, predictable, easy to manipulate. Strange sealed the truth in your bones because your pain made you obedient. Peter's hands trembled. So I'm just a cage again? No, Odin said. You were. Not anymore. A surge sparked through Peter's veins. I saw what I become, Peter whispered. I saw the Weaver. And you feared him, Odin replied. But that version of you didn't destroy the multiverse. He tried to fix it. Peter's voice cracked. Why did Strange erase him? Because Strange chose order over truth. Just like I did once. Just like the Council of Realms. But that time is ending. The skies darkened. Threads of gold began to unravel above them. Peter looked up. What's happening? Your memory, Odin said. It's fully returning. That means they're coming. Who? The architects. A tear split open the sky. Not like strange portals. This wasn't magic. It was design. Mechanical. Absolute. And from it descended three beings of impossible symmetry. Robed in geometry. Skin of shifting math. They weren't alive. They were instructions given form. Peter stepped back. What are they? Odin raised his staff. The ones who built the lie Strange fought to protect. They wrote your forgetting. They scripted your suffering. One of the beings pointed at Peter. It spoke in fractured voices. The Weaver is waking. Containment breach. Neutralization required. Peter's veins burned gold. He reached inside himself. Not to summon webs, but to pull the truth forward. And it came, memories sealed for lifetimes, across timelines. He saw the first spider, not an insect, but a cosmic being of thread and light. He saw himself, not bitten, but activated. He saw Strange kneeling before the architects, pleading, "Let me seal him just one more time." And the architects answered, "Erase him or erase Earth." Peter's breath fogged in the cold. He sold me out. Odin raised his staff. He thought it was the only way. He was wrong. The architects launched. Peter didn't dodge. He reached out and caught the beam meant to erase him. He didn't block it. He unwove it, like pulling thread from old fabric. The architect shattered into lines of glowing string. Screaming in data, Peter turned to the others. I'm done forgetting. The other two vanished. Odin lowered his staff. The Weaver has returned. Peter looked at his hands, alive with gold, with memory, with truth. And far behind the sky, Dr. Strange felt it. A tremor in the spell, the final seal breaking. Dr. Strange stood alone in the sanctum's heart chamber. Every seal was glowing red. The wards were screaming. The eye of Agamotto had shattered into dust. The spell was breaking, not from the outside. From within, Peter was coming. The floor cracked beneath Strange as a tear opened. Not a portal, a wound. And from it rose Peter Parker. No suit, no mask. His eyes were glowing gold. His body hummed like a tuning fork caught between dimensions. Not Spider-Man, not the Weaver, just Peter, awake. Strange spoke first. I warned you what would happen. You warned me what you were afraid of, Peter said, walking forward. You never warned me what I was. I tried to protect you. You erased me. Strange's hands glowed with desperate magic. You don't understand. I do, Peter said, voice sharp. You saw a version of me you couldn't control. So you buried him. You buried all of me. Strange looked broken. You were going to end everything. The timelines were unraveling. No, Peter said. I was going to expose the truth. The architects. The cage. The rewrite of Earth's history. You weren't protecting reality. You were preserving their lie. Magic burst forward. Runes of pure panic. Peter didn't flinch. He caught the spell midair and unthreaded it. The energy unraveled like old string, falling uselessly to the floor. Strange fell to his knees. "I tried to save Earth." "You did," Peter said, "by sacrificing me over and over again." Strange looked up. "Then why did you come back?" Peter stared at him. "Because I remembered you weren't always a coward." Strange blinked. The air shimmered with his pain. Peter extended his hand. "Help me rewrite it. For real this time. No gods. No cages. No architects." Strange hesitated, then nodded. "It will cost everything." Peter's voice was steady. "It already has." Together, they stepped to the sanctum's core, where the threads of all erased timelines converged. A storm of memory spun above them. Strange reached in with trembling hands. Peter steadied him. They pulled. Time screamed. And then silence. Not emptiness. Balance. The rewritten threads settled. A world not built on fear. A spider not born from pain. A boy who chose to become more, without being rewritten by anyone. The multiverse adjusted, and Peter Parker opened his eyes, back in New York. No glitch, no crack, no fear. But he remembered all of it. He looked down at his hands. No glowing webs, no cosmic power, just fingers that had held the truth and let it go. The wind was calm. The world had changed. And Peter smiled, because for the first time since he became Spider-Man, he wasn't afraid of who he might become. The end.